One of the questions I always get asked is, how did you get injured? I was 20 years old in college down in Orlando. Driving home from work one night, I was just driving through a green light and a drunk driver ran through a red light about 70 miles an hour and nailed me. And I was ejected from the car. I was thrown about 45 feet, landed in the road, broke my neck. And once I got injured, I thought sports would be gone for me. And my recreation therapist introduced me to wheelchair sports. And the main sport she introduced me to was wheelchair racing. When I got discharged from the hospital, one of my goals was to do a road race. And I wanted to do a 5K road race. And so when it came September time, down in Florida, I did my 5K road race. There was about 10 wheelchairs, about 500 runners. And I got beat by every kid, every old person, everybody. I came in dead last. It took me an hour and 5 minutes to go 3.1 miles, but I finished. And that was the main thing. So that night after my first race, I went back to Steak and Ale, and I was so excited to tell everybody about how I did and just how I did my first race. And I've been a bartender there at Steak and Ale, so I was telling my bar regulars about what I did that day and how I did the race and how I came in dead last and how I got beat by all these racing chairs. And one of my bar regulars, a guy named John, said, "Well, Bert, why don't you buy a racing chair?" And at the time I said, "John, they're $1,200. I'm about $2,000 short." And they all kind of laughed. And then I kept telling the story, and he kept seeing how excited I was. And about 15 minutes later, he said, "Hey, Bert, I'm money. Just go ahead and buy a racing chair." I said, "John, I can't afford it." He goes, "No, buy one, I'll pay for it." I said, "John, they're $1,200. He goes, "That's all right. I can afford it. You order a racing chair, send me the bill, I'll pay for it." The fact that John knew me and was willing to help and able to help and did help was just an awesome feeling. It made me feel like I wasn't just out on an island by myself. I had so much support behind me. One of the great things about wheelchair sports is you can compete locally, regionally, nationally, and internationally. When I first started, I was in Orlando. I just competed locally. I did 5K and 10K road races every weekend. It was great to do it. I was kind of a weekend warrior. I really trained, and I did about the same times every time. I did a 45-minute 10K, and it was fun. I did it. It was great. But if you want to really get competitive at it and take it to the next level and start training, you can do that. I was up here in Atlanta, and they had a wheelchair sports team I got involved with, a wheelchair racing team. So I was actually training 6 days a week. So I not only started competing locally and regionally, I started competing nationally, and then I started making international teams. After competing in my first international event in 1990, I came home and decided I wanted to make the Paralympics in '92 to go to Barcelona, Spain. And what the Paralympics are, for folks who don't know it, it's the Olympics for people with physical disabilities. They have people in wheelchairs, amputees, and blind athletes. And for those three types of disabilities, that is the highest level you can compete at. And my first Paralympics in 1992 was in Barcelona, Spain, and it was amazing. I competed in the 1,500 meter, the 5,000 meter, the marathon, and a 4x400 meter relay. And my 4x400 meter relay, we had 4 real fast guys, and we got a gold medal. Finished first place, and I remember being up in that medal stand, and I was just crying. I mean, the whole time, it was such an amazing experience to think that just 10 years prior to that, in 1982, I had just gotten paralyzed. I could barely push the stop sign in my neighborhood. And now I'm getting a gold medal in the Paralympics.
After we got married, Bert also made the Paralympic team for Sydney, Australia, and then also Athens, Greece. And it was so fun because those were travel opportunities that I got to have to go see him compete.
I know I talk about the Paralympics and how, getting gold medals and stuff, and I was a good athlete as a wheelchair racer. But there's plenty of sports and plenty of things I do where I'm just a regular average Joe like everybody else is.
I think it's important to make sure that, like any married couple, disabled or not disabled couple, is that you need to find things that you can do together.
I never snow ski. I grew up in Florida. Joy grew up in Colorado, and she's a great snow skier. And we first met, we went snow skiing together, and there's adaptive snow skiing. It's called mono skiing or bi skiing, and I learned to do that, and so we ski together. We go on skiing trips through wheelchair sports, through getting involved with having some great friends, great family support. I started doing well. I started doing well in racing. I started meeting people, traveling the world, which I never would have got to do if I had not been in a wheelchair through the racing. Being in a wheelchair and being paralyzed actually changed my life, probably for the good. The whole life I have now is great, and would I trade it for anything else in the world? Not a bit.